for this, other than this that's
Right.
your ass for like.
And really what it boiled down to was the people around me.
I feel like the music scene here could be way better.
Okay, so we got the hair, that's Chucky. We got the jacket, that's Candy, man.
Wow, okay, I see it now.
We got,
you know what I'm saying? R.P. Big C.
Rest in peace.
He had passed away, but you know what I'm saying, at the time, like he was.
Hey man, y'all know what the fuck going on, man. We live with another Step Up to the Mic podcast, man. I got another guest right here. You know what I'm saying? Y'all may or may not know who he is, but y'all finna get to know who he is today. He can introduce himself straight out the bat. We're gonna start just like that. Tell the world your name and where you from, brother.
Mr. Chuck P, you know we're repping LA and St. Louis.
LA and St. Louis. Okay, wait. Let's just start with this right away, right? I'm gonna ask you this. Chuck P, right?
Yes, sir.
Where you get that name from?
So it's a combination of the nickname my grandfather used to give me and one of my greatest DJ inspirations, Chuck D. And so I never knew where the Mr. came part until I got on IG and I said, oh, Mr. Chuck D, that's catchy. Let's do Mr. Chuck P. And it just stuck like Chuck. Everything that I put it with when I started my label, Cutthroat Chuck. When I had joined Free World, it was Free World Chuck. When I was in St. Louis, it's 314 Chuck.
Right,
it's LA
right.
Chuck. So,
Right.
you know, it's just, it just sticks.
Right, okay. And but where you initially from though? Like where you from?
So I was born in LA and I was raised in St. Louis.
St. Louis, but now you're in Minnesota.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how did that come about now? So I born in LA, right? Raised in St. Louis and came to Minnesota. Which one is your favorite three? Which one out of that three would you say is your best state that you got the most success in so far?
So it's like a combination of St. Louis and Minnesota. And it's weird because like as soon as I left St. Louis, and they're like, where are you going? Because I was always known as like a world beater and a traveler.
Right.
So when I got to Minnesota, they're like, oh, you're in Minnesota now. I said, yeah, we're in the Prince capital. Everybody in St. Louis is like a Prince fan. We all love the legacy of Prince. I came up here because I really wanted to study the industry. I wanted to study the game. I had a buddy named Ruben that was telling me, he's like, you're weird, Chuck. He said, why don't you go to Minnesota? I think they would fuck with you, you know.
Because you do it,
that's how he tried to put it to me, because he was old head, and he watched me struggle with the same kind of crowd that I've been working with up here.
Right.
And he's like, they don't deserve you, bro. Just kind of, you know, go out for a while, find your place. So before I came to Minnesota, I had went to Kansas City. I had spent like about a couple of months there with a friend. And I was like, oh, Kansas City is cool, but a little pricey. And I just wanted to see something different. I wanted to get completely out of Missouri. And then, like I said, my buddy Ruben was like, go try Minnesota, man. And he said, if you don't like it, you can always come back. He said, but don't tell me that, because he's like, once you get up there, you're going to never want to leave.
Right.
And here we are like 5 minutes later.
Right, so let me ask you, right? So how do you feel like Minnesota been treating you, like on an honest standpoint? Like, you know, where you at when you first thought about it and when your homies told you about it, how do you feel like they treating you now?
I feel like it was rough, but it's gotten better, because I think a lot of it was, let's see what you bring to the table. Let's see what you can do for us first before we help you. And then a lot of it was just really being misunderstood. You know, I had to really listen to people. Like when I first moved here, I was in St. Paul.
Right.
And so I had to hear everybody tell me why they didn't like St. Paul. And I said, don't worry, St. Paul, I'll claim you. You're my city, man. I fuck with St. Paul. I've met all of my solid friends in St. Paul. I met your boy and my godparents over in St. Paul. So, you know, St. Paul was my roots.
Right. Okay, so if you're looking at Minnesota as a whole right now, like, all right, musically, right? Because that's what we're doing this for, right? Is the music and the talent up here. You know, where do you see Minnesota right now as a collective?
I see it's really coming together, man. We got a lot of hot artists. It seems like every time I get on Facebook or IG, I'm hearing about new people, or, you know, just more collabs, just more engagement. It's really dope that you guys have a lot of promoters and DJs and venues to do shows. That was one of the things I was telling my team about. We don't really have a city of DJs and promoters. We're trying to learn how to bring St. Louis together, and that's how I end up coming up with this idea.
St. Louis kind of already popping, though. You know what I mean? We talking about St. Louis is a little bit different. You know, the unity there is a lot different. But
I just want my city to stop killing.
Let me bounce back to one thing that you said in the beginning, right? You said you was with Free World Mafia, right? So what happened with that group?
So I think we just kind of parted mutual ways, man. I felt like it was my turn to do things. When I had originally joined, I had told Sonny, I was like, I'm a producer, man. This is like my bread and butter.
Shout out Sonny too. I fuck with you.
Shout out to Sonny Soda, bro's cool. Yeah. And he was like, look, bro, he said, Minnesota doesn't need more producers. That was literally the way he told me. He was like, what we need is more managers. And so this is the image that basically he created. So a lot of people are like, where did this modern manager come from? I was always good for speaking for people and representing them. I just never wanted to be a manager because we've been dealing with this, people don't trust managers. The industry's getting a bad rep. And like every time I start labels, all of my artists come to me with, what's that thing? I know one of them is United Masters, DistroKid. And these guys. So that
is a good question to ask though. Like, so as a manager, what would a manager bring to the table for an artist? What do they do to help build the artist and the team? What is that manager role? Can you explain that?
Yeah, so your manager is your morale officer. He's your team builder. He's your head coach or your assistant coach, depending on who you're working with.
Right.
And he just goes off of you, man. Like I tell everybody, my management style is catered to your athleticism. So like a lot of people are basketball fans. I put it in their field.
Speak up a little more on the thing. Yeah.
I put it in their field. So like a Phil Jackson style.
Right.
So we'll run the triangle with them.
Right. Pull it up a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah, you good. Like just on your jacket a little bit.
Gotcha.
Yeah. There you go. Can you hear him?
You hear me?
Keep.
Here, I got you.
Speak up though.
Can you hear me? But can you hear me now? I need to put this on now.
You can bring it up, bro. Yeah, there you go. Says I having technical difficulties.
Testing, can you hear me? Cool.
Yeah, but go ahead, finish what you were saying.
Oh yeah, so like as far as your manager, man, it's like about your team building, your chemistry, and I try to do it like the way Phil Jackson would do it. Like I have a lot of stars, and like one thing Sonny did teach me that I always tell people, when you deal with artists, you deal with ego. And so what I learned really quick was, hey man, it's not about you being sad and depressed all the time. Sometimes you got to get up and make it happen, even when you don't know how you're going to make it happen.
Right.
And that was something I learned really quick with Phil Jackson's coaching style. So
right.
Like the Gritty Cartel Records label that I built, I feel like I got like 5 Kobe's and Shaqs on my team.
Right. No. I get you on that, but so what artists have you managed? Have you managed any artists at the moment? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I got my boy T-Sav right now. I think he's out in East St. Paul. I was working with HBK Solo. That was one of my post-free world artists still. I was even still working with him. I was working with a lot of cutthroat artists. I think I told you about them before. We had Zay Cuts, SHN Shasha. Oh boy, it's a big list. I had Melly. We had Camp Out. Just a lot of people on there, even KT Mello. And so, the problem with that crew was a lot of them didn't understand my management style. A lot of people kind of go off my post and they think, oh, this guy is just really negative and do. And I have a very pro-black.
So I do hear that a lot about you. Like a lot of times when people speak your name or I hear your name, they do say a lot of negative things, right? So let's talk about that part, right? Why do you feel like people look at you as a negative person? You know what I mean? Like,
well, a lot of it is how I always say, it's how you walk in the room, how you're presented, and then also how you carry yourself. I try not to wear my scars like we always talk, but I also like to keep it real. And so like people don't always like what I have to say, but I'm the guy that's gonna keep it real. You might boo me, you might be mad, but you're gonna be like, this guy kept it real when nobody else wanted to. And I think the problem is, man, a lot of people just don't understand. You're a human, and then first and foremost, you're a man. So you got a right to feel pain. You got a right to cry. You have a right to feel things. And so, like I tell my artists, a lot of them don't understand. When your manager is mad, most of the time it's because I'm fighting for you. Like I'll give you an example. Shout out to AK. I love what he does for the city. I would always tell AK when I would book people like Shasha and them for shows, I'd be like, hey bro, it's SHN Shasha, not SHN Sasha, or not this and not that. Spell it the way I send it to you, because you might not feel bothered by it, but they get mad at me. And now they feel like I'm doing something wrong.
Right. No, yeah. I mean, yeah, it is how it's said and how it's worded, you know what I mean? And how it's done, you know what I mean? So definitely, I feel like if you're not speaking up for yourself and for your team when it comes to the aspects, because you want that to look right on paper just as well, you're not wrong for that, you know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know like how the logistics went behind it, but like, what was said or what was done, but like I said, I do hear a lot of people say, hey, man, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. And I'm like, look, I'm going to have my own perception of them. I'm going to do what I do and get my own light of them. And like I said, you haven't been that type of guy that I've seen to do nothing like that. But, what would you say to the people so they can understand who you are as a person?
Well, like I always say, man, come around, you don't have to go to Hollywood when you're from Hollywood, man. I'm the guy that'll get the shirt off my back. I'll break bread with you. I'm the guy that I really feel like it's once in a generation, because I'm not going to just you know, like a lot of people only mess with you when you're up. I was just telling my team how my Facebook and Instagram be struggling with likes. I said, but look at you guys, man. Y'all are doing views. Y'all are killing it. I said, so, you know, just come around and get to know people, man. I pride myself on ownership and being the boss. So, you know, I can't be a boss if other people around me don't feel good. So I pride myself on, if y'all really feel like Chuck is this bad guy, you know, come and meet a guy. Most of it's probably because of rumors that somebody had told them anyway. And it's like, I don't know how anybody has a problem with Chuck. I work with everybody. I tell my
So let me ask you this, Chuck. When you present yourself, do you come dressed with this hairstyle right now? You got the Vegeta going right now. You about to charge up on me right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I'm throwing out there. You know what I mean? I fuck with you now. I'm just saying, but
yeah, I mean, I just don't have a chance. Man, I don't have anybody that can do my hair.
Hey, he needs somebody to do his motherfucking hair, man. You know what I'm saying? He got the mannequin money. You better team up and get it done, man. He needs his motherfucking hair done. You know what I'm saying? No, but I'm just talking shit though. But look, I fuck with it. Like you said, it's natural. Come as you are. You know what I mean? That's how you walk through the door of God. So I respect it at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But let's go back to the music. Who is some of your, give me your top 5 favorite artists to listen to in the city.
Okay, so I gotta give you A-Dot. I fuck with A-Dot. I fuck with Sha still locked in with bro.
Shout y'all out.
So we got a Stretch, he's cool.
I don't know who that is, but I shout you out.
You know, he's Stretch, he's cool.
No, I gotta listen to it.
You know Suavo, don't you? He's cool.
Suavo or Suavo?
Suavo. I always get this.
I'm like, which one, man?
You're getting bro name wrong.
Suavo or Suavo? Nah, Suavo. Shout out Suavo. You know what's going on. Had him on the podcast too. And what was that? Hold on, give me one more.
All right, one more. Enzy Rose.
Who?
Enzy Rose.
Enzy Rose. I don't think I ever heard her. Maybe I have. I think I have heard her. Yeah, you're right. I think I have.
We got to get the female flavor out here, man. I'm not.
I mean, I think the female flavor is definitely out here. You know, everybody got they shit right now. So a couple females that's doing big shit. Like who is it? Sky, by the way. I think she got some major shit. So shout her out. You know, it's a few good artists out here, man. Like, we can keep naming more if we did, but you know, it's gonna take a lot of time by that. But
like
she's just one of them that I've been seeing doing a lot of work
every single day. That's the dope part about it.
Yeah. So like I said, if you could hear 2 artists on the song that you fuck with, what are the 2 artists that you want to hear on the song together right now that hasn't did any features together?
And we're talking about here or just anywhere?
Let's say industry first and then local.
Okay, bet.
Let's go industry first.
Let's see. We got to do a Michael and Prince. We got real close to getting an
Didn't they do this? Didn't they do something a long time ago? Because when they was on the song together though.
We never got the song.
It was like a mashup song that they did together, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't really like a song.
No, it wasn't a song, but that probably would have been crazy to hear. You know what I mean? Prince and MJ. You know.
I can give you one more on the industry level. Let's do Tupac and Big L.
That probably would have been crazy too. Now that would have been crazy mashup. All right, then let's go local. Who you think for your local artist?
Oh, let's see. For locals, I got to think of some singers. So, firstly, we got to do Enzy. Let's see. Enzy, I think she would sound good with a few of these, a lot of our international artists that we have here. But I just can't think of none of their names right now. I have them on IG. So I'm going to give you, she needs to do a song with Sha.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Sha, he's like a rapper and singer, and she's like a rapper and singer. And I think what people tend to focus on in music too much, they think it's all about rap. And it's like, have some singing. We need more dancing. That's another thing I've been really telling my artists about. Like, I put a mascot in my label just to get more people to dance.
Right.
Because, you know, dance first, then it's the beat.
So let me ask you this real quick, right? Mm-hmm. When we thinking about like artists, right? Are we only thinking about like when people say stuff? A lot of people will only say like the artists that they may have kicked away or seen or nothing like that, right? Mm-hmm. But there's, like I said, hundreds of other artists that's out here right now. If we giving Minnesota the chance, it ain't just that inner circle that matter. You know what I'm saying? Because even then, when you think about, like I said, people shouting out Lil Durk for his birthday. Niggas ain't close to him at all. People shouting out all these famous artists. But the inner circle of artists is what they be missing out. So like not just your own circle, but the entire circle of that Minnesota roster, you know what I mean, needs to be played together. You know what I'm saying? So like, if I'm thinking of some shit, I would have said like me and motherfucking John Ray. That's a song I want to get on. You know what I'm saying? Shout out John Ray. I'll get on some shit like, you know what I mean? Like some shit like that. Not just like my camp. You feel what I'm saying? Like, or people that's just close to me, because I want to see other artists do big shit too with each other. I would love to see other artists come together, squash beef, and actually make songs together. You know what I mean? Like if we could do that. If it's that serious, we understand. But if you can come together, let's make some hits. You know what I'm saying? Like it's too much too much out here not to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like come together with the collaboration.
Especially when it's about making money, man. Like I hear so many people talk about money, and it's like, how do you make money with the?
I mean, not even that money aspect, because the money will come later. You got to build the relationship. You got to build the character. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not really building that character and relationship, that money don't mean nothing. It's like an NBA team. If just because this my first year here don't mean it's gonna be a good with the team. I could be a ball hog. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. They don't know what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So if you got good chemistry with your team and stuff like that, that's how you gonna build that money and that revenue gonna come in. But if there's no chemistry with that team, you might as well look at it like, you feel me? Like I'm gonna go AI and just go crazy. You feel what I'm saying? So, but that's just what it is. You know what I mean? But
and that's where your managers come in. And like your manager, he really plays that role. Like, say, I tell my team, you can call me. I'm pretty much always up anyway. So like, so you can hit me at 4. I like being involved. Right. And so like I was telling them, I said a lot of people want a manager because they feel like it's cool. Like I built my management style from Paul Heyman. If you're a wrestling fan, so like you could be somebody like Brock, or you could be somebody that's really quiet and shy.
I built my management style like Paul Heyman. Hey, shout out Paul Heyman, WWE. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like that's a crazy way to view it.
Yeah, like that's my management style. People be really shocked when I tell them that, because it's like that's how I carry myself. Like being from LA, we don't just talk a lot of shit. We also bag it up. Like people was laughing at me when I told them I was going to start an independent record label, and they're like, how are you going to do that? You got to have money. You got to have this and that. Now we're about to start our actual clothing store with the label. We got about 40 people in the label. I mean, shout out to my boy Wop. I got so many people in this darn thing. I just signed a female artist from Flint. Her name is Debret. So we're really going nuts with the label, man. I mean, we got so many people in here. We're working on starting our Canna team. The goal is to inspire more people to want to be bosses. And I always tell people, you can be a boss working a 9 to 5, but why can't you start your own business? Like I know a lot of my artists, they have kids. See, I don't have kids. So again, your manager now has to step in, and I have to be the uncle. It's like, all right, let's create generational wealth, guys. I understand you guys got to work 9 to 5 and you got to pay rent. Your manager doesn't have all those problems, maybe rent or something. So I'm going to help you do that. And you know, a lot of people, they want you to win. Some people don't know how to help you win. And then you got some people that just won't help you at all.
So let me ask you this right then, right? You do what you do for the managers. You helping a lot of these artists. They blow up, they leave you behind. What do?
You start over, and you deal with it, bro. Like when the Cutthroat thing happened, I was really kind of disappointed, and I was kind of a little mad at Minnesota about it, because I was like, wow. I said I built y'all something dope, and then I said, and people was really scouting my artists and just taking them from me, and I didn't trip off of it.
So my thing is this: what make them your artist then? How they taking them from me? That was
the lesson in it.
Because my thing is this: was there contracts?
There was contracts. But they kept acting like they wasn't legit contracts, and they were still under this.
But how was they legit contracts? Like, what? Explain a contract to me.
So a contract is any legal document that's either typed or prepared, and once it's signed by the person that wrote it or made it, it's considered a binding document. And then when the other person signs it, it is now a fully binding agreement. But it really kind of it depends too, because like according to the courts, they consider anything that's written in when both parties sign a considered agreement or a document. My thing was, I just gave them a simple contract with our logo on it. It had everything that I typed up for them. It let them know what I would do for them, essentially what you would make and how you could do things.
But I'm saying, did it have anything about an outdate?
Yeah, I gave them like the Zay Cuts contract. She was one of my main ones I had on the contract. I gave her a full year. It stated that she would be booked. It stated that she would have this and that, you know. So it was just kind of like different people had different contracts because different people wanted different things. And I kept everybody under the independent umbrella like I'm doing now, which is essentially, I want you all to have your masters and your royalties. They're like, well, how does the label make money? I said, the label makes money because it's a label. We have people that want distribution. You have merch. You guys have a brand now. You know, the label doesn't. And I said, this is what the industry don't want us telling y'all. We don't need the artist. The artist needs the label to branch out and develop the name.
I think that's wrong.
But hold on, let me finish. What I mean by that is like the label, like if most independent labels, we understand that the artist is the e-commerce. The industry thinks that they need to keep you there in order to get things done with you. Like we can make merch and all kind of things.
I get what you're saying. But it's the other way around though. The labels need the artists. Without those artists, you have no label. You have nobody pushing that. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got no dope artists in that label, you have nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like you have nothing. You just pushing what? You know what I'm saying? You just making a name, yelling it out, but you ain't got nobody actually repping and actually rapping, you know? So I feel like, you know, you got to look at it from a bigger standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like this is all a lesson learned in the process too. Look at it like this. You need to have real contracts, real binding contracts. If you're going to do what you do, make sure people are reading that shit thorough. Because if that was the case, how they leaving you and then how you not being able to, you know, sue right? How you not able to do certain things?
And
you know
then
what I
the
mean?
other thing, like the other thing, like mainly one that was only on
Why they leaving you in the first place is the question.
That's my whole thing. And then I kind of found it funny because then I noticed I started getting all this random hate. I had got jumped. And then the funny thing about it was people tried to act like they didn't know what was going on. And I said, it's funny because it's like nobody wants to act like I had influence. And that was the kind of disappointing thing about it, because I'm not a hater. I just wanted people to be like, hey, this is my manager. He did this and that. And, you know, the way that I would kind of find out stuff from people, like people were telling people like some of the weirdest stuff. And it was just trashing my reputation. And that was where I was getting from with the contract with Light Cuts, for example. Like, these was real documents. It's just.
Well, what was they saying though? What was some weird stuff?
So,
like what's the?
Like one of the things was, so we were in tour with another group called OMK. And the funny thing about the OMK group was that 2 of the artists used to be in my label. And so, like, the thing was, I tried this independent process with everybody. I didn't really trip about people leaving because, like I said, you're an independent artist.
Mm-hmm.
I was building your system to where this isn't a label. I'm
Right.
not going to handicap you to something you don't want.
Right.
So it's like the point was everybody's like, oh, we're cool. We want to win. Do. And then so they started feeling like that I wasn't doing my job as a manager because their ratings and views and stuff wasn't getting there. And it's like, I can only do so much. It's like, I can't make people fuck with y'all. I can only push y'all content. I can give y'all ideas and I can help y'all how to grow. I was like, I put y'all in a group of people and y'all knew everybody in the group and y'all were growing. I said, and then that's the other thing too. You know, like I had made a label with the guys. I had put y'all in a group with other people and they were like, yeah, we all see the same vision, kind of like the same thing I did with Gritty Cartel. The thing with the Gritty Cartel guys, these guys went to work. You know, we built chemistry. Everybody kind of understands where we're at. But then it's like where we're at with the with this team, it's like people kept trying to look at it like, well, the manager has to do everything. And it's like, it still needs to be a team effort.
Right.
You know, I couldn't even get all y'all to show up at shows so we could do a group photo.
Right. Now that makes sense. I get what you're saying. But like I said, I just feel like make sure now this is the lesson learned is to have everything intact. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you standing on your business. Like your look is everything too, bro. You know what I'm saying? Your look has to match everything you're doing. If you're a businessman, manager like you are, you got to play the part. You can't walk up like this. I'm just being honest. You can't walk up like this in this type of image. Like I get the come as you are thing, but if you're trying to show your artist something bigger than that, you got to dress the part. You got to play the part. You got to be the part. You see what I'm saying? You can't say I'm a big manager and not play the part of the big manager. You get what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you there, you look it, you feel it, and then you go. They're gonna believe that more than what they see here. You see what I'm saying?
That's
So
something I have to learn later.
that's what you gotta learn. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's just pushing yourself out there in a better light. So it's good that you come in here to speak that and to show that. But at the same time, I wouldn't be me if I didn't help my friend. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want to be able to see people grow from this and stuff like that. Like I said, where do you see yourself at in the next 3 to 5 years?
Hopefully with a thriving company. We've been really doing well kicking out the year and closing out last year. So I think I finally found my niche and we finally got it clicking. I've been able to throw other brands with it. So the goal is to really find something. And like I always tell people, the goal isn't to live forever. It's to create something that will. And so that's been something I've been working on.
I like that. The goal isn't to live forever, but it's to create something that will. I like that. Keep that motherfucker going. You know what I'm saying? Like Jesus Christ's name. We got that motherfucker forever. You feel what I'm saying? But no, definitely. You want to give out any shout outs to the people and like that?
Oh yeah, man. You know, I got to shout out Minneapolis, man. It's always a privilege when I can share my anything with you guys, man. Y'all didn't have to welcome me here. Shout out to the 314. I love you guys. I'll see y'all soon. Shout out to Gritty Cartel Records. You know, there would be none of this without you guys. Y'all helped me kind of come out of retirement. We're building something for everybody to join. If y'all want to lock in with Gritty Cartel Records, y'all can give it a follow at Gritty Cartel Records with a Z on the IG. You can follow Gritty Kits and Fits on IG, and it's Gritty Kits and Fits 314. We also got a website. It's GrittyKitsFits.myshopify.com. So we're really building an ecosystem, man. We just want people to take more pride in owning their brands and really being a part of our new Black culture, man. Everybody here can own something. Everybody can contribute to our store. So lock in with me, man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate that, man. I'm going to leave it off on this note. I need y'all to tap the fuck in, man. Like I said, we got real big shit coming to the motherfucking city real soon, man. Shout out Soda Shine in the back, man. You know what the fuck going on. We got a lot of shit coming up, man. I need y'all to tap the fuck in. Like I said, we looking out for every artist, every movie star, every fighter, every whatever you do. Y'all come on down and come get yourself heard and get yourself out there. This is a way to boost your attention and get people to be watching you. You know, we here to help y'all. We here to help build the city. And just like that, y'all know where to find us, man. Y'all step up to the motherfucking mic, man. All the links will be in the motherfucking description. And we out, man. Let's get it.